Mohammed, welcome to Sports World this afternoon. First of all, what do you think of New Zealand's weather since you've been here?
Well, I think this is the best weather in the world because where I'm from, the snow is so deep. Chicago, cars are completely covered. In many cases, people didn't bother to remove the cars from the snow because there's too much snow. I mean, really, you cannot see a car, it's so covered. And it was about 20 below zero when I left. It was so cold until Superman caught a cab.
So a little bit of rain.
This is not bad to myself. This is good weather.
Well, also in Sports World this afternoon we have Bob Jones. And of course Bob Jones, a great boxing enthusiast, and he's seen many fights of Muhammad Ali. Bob, why have you been an enthusiast of Muhammad's right from when he really started?
Well, he's pretty unusual. I mean, when you start to think of the things that you can associate with Muhammad Ali first attracting world attention, which was really Rome and the Olympic medal, you've got to if you sort of think of political names, you go back to Kennedy, or indeed to Eisenhower being the President of the United States. It seems like another age. And so, you know, Muhammad Ali has spanned or dominated heavyweight championship boxing for 2 decades, nigh on 2 decades. And that's really.
Say I'm an old man, huh?
Well, I'll leave that to you to say, but it remains to be seen how much longer.
But Bob, you have travelled throughout the world to Scandinavia, Manila, all over, watching the champ in action.
Yes, not to Scandinavia. I went up there to see Jimmy Ellis and Floyd Patterson, 2 of his opponents, of course, fight. I went to Zaire to see him fight. Got there the day that Foreman got his eye cut, and it was postponed for a month. So. But I have seen him fight, yes, in many of these places, and of course we'll be able to get on to that. We've got a lot of films
Well,
of these
perhaps
fights.
we can start right now and get on to that with the champ.
Just one thing, Muhammad, just to kick off. You began your pro career just a few months after you came back from Rome, where you won the light heavyweight gold medal.
Yeah, I began my boxing career period at 12 years old. This is about 1954. But I began my professional career, which is what you're talking about now, about 2 or 3 months after the Olympics in Rome, Italy.
Yes.
I turned at 18 years old. I turned professional.
And you boxed as a heavyweight. How big were you then?
Heavyweight when I was small. I was about 185 pounds.
Oh, I see. Yes.
And the heavyweight division is anything over 175, so I was a small heavyweight.
Yeah. And of course, through 1960, 61 and so on, you ran through quite a number of opponents, and you were starting to get up to people like Alonzo Johnson and Alec Mittoff, Sonny Banks. They were good opponents.
At the time, yeah.
In your second year.
Alonzo Johnson was a top-ranked boxer.
Yeah.
Alec Mittoff was a highly-ranked professional. Sonny Banks wasn't really ranked, but he was an up-comer like myself, and he hit real hard. He hit me so hard one night, the night I fought him. It was so hard, it jarred my kinfolks in Africa.
Actually, didn't Sonny Banks put you down?
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Yep.
He's the one that jarred my kinfolks down.
Well, of course, we're coming up to a film of the next time that you went down, and we come to 1963. You only had 3 fights in 1963, and 2 of them were particularly good fighters. Doug Jones, he gave you a hard time, and Henry Cooper.
Henry Cooper hit me with a left hook. I predicted round 4.
Henry's hammer.
It was a funny thing I remember when I went to London. I said, when you come to the fight, don't block the aisle, don't block the door, for you all may go home after round 4. But anyway, he knocked me down in 3. And luckily the bell rang. I was jogging. He may have knocked me out if he had more time, I don't know. But the bell rang, and it did give me time to recuperate. In the 4th round, I did knock him out, but I stopped him. He was on the cut eye.
Yeah. Well, we've got a very good film shot of that 4th round and the final 5th round.
This is a real surprise. You have a lot of these fights already?
Oh, yes. Well, you see, Henry Cooper, you must remember, was the British champion, and we've got the orientation to Britain. We were particularly interested.
Did you round all this up yourself?
No, not me, the studio, but that wasn't televised here. They never had the satellites, but it was broadcast here, well, I think about 8 in the morning. Yeah. And certainly we all listened to it. And
I must say, I thought I was coming just to do an interview. This is a real surprise. I didn't know you would have all these fights.
Yes, well, we haven't got a lot of the early ones, unfortunately. I certainly would have liked to have had 1 or 2 about 1966. particularly Cleveland Williams. I think that's a great film, that one, but we don't have it. Well, let's have a look at the...
Yes, we'd like to.
Let's have a look at the first Cooper fight in 1963.
You got to fight this boy Cooper. You've been playing around for a long time, sporting it, as you say.
Yes, I'm not training too hard for this bum. Henry Cooper's nothing to me. If this bum go over 5 rounds, I won't return to the United States for 30 days. That's final.
It's June 8, 1963, London, England. Here in round 4, the fight is quite even as Clay goes about his work almost casually. Cooper just keeps looking for that one clean shot.
What were you thinking here, Muhammad?
There it is.
Right now, I'm thinking nothing of when am I going to get up? Can I get up off of the floor?
Actually, you got up very quickly, really, didn't you?
That's what I meant. I told you the bell rung. And they gave me some smelling salts or something. And it took me about 10, 15 seconds to recuperate. I realized I predicted round 4. And that's the smelling sauce he just gave me.
And then there was the glove incident that gave it a bit of extra time as well. What do you think of Cooper? I mean, he was a small heavyweight. Do you think he might have really been a great heavyweight if he'd been bigger?
I think he could have been a great heavyweight, but Henry Cooper cut too easy.
Yes.
He bruised, he cut easy. He was small, but he didn't have the rhythm or the finesse or the speed to really win the championship. Not only win it, like King Von Johansson won it, he only held it a year. Quite a few fighters won it, but they held it such a short time. If he had won, he was the type of fighter that somebody would have cut or would have beat because his arms are short. He was a small heavyweight. He couldn't have been a real heavyweight champion.
Yeah. Because you fought, how many? You fought 4 British heavyweight champions, Cooper, Brian London, Dunn, and Bugner. And you fought Bugner twice, and Cooper
I
twice.
didn't remember that. How did you're not as dumb as you look. No, I was joking,
How would you rate them? Who was the best? Obviously Cooper.
I would say Cooper was the best. I would say second, I would rank Richard Dunn.
Over Bugner?
Yeah.
Would you really?
Yeah, man. Wait, hold.
Because Dunn was a southpaw. And we don't have a film. I wish we did have a bit of the film. We've probably got it in the library somewhere of Mildenberger. Yeah. He was... because shortly after...
Mildenberger, too. It's pretty rough to rank them.
Yeah.
I would say Mildenberger, Dunn, and Cooper were the roughest for me.
Yeah. Well, anyway, after the Cooper fight, you came back. I don't think you had another fight, did you, before the title fight?
You're the expert, I'm here.
No, I'm right, yeah. So the following year, in February '64, came the title fight. Just before we look at a film, in retrospect, going back 15 years, how would you rate Liston as a champion?
Sonny Liston was, before I fought him, considered one of the greatest fighters in history. George Foreman was considered one of the greatest fighters in history until I beat him. But after I beat him, they didn't look at him as being too great because they didn't want to believe that I was as good as I was. Now they recognize it. Sonny Liston had a punch that knocked out Floyd Patterson with just about 1 round twice. George Foreman knocked out Joe Frazier and everybody he fought 1 round. They were 2 extraordinary hard punchers, brute animals looking fellas, serious. Liston was serious, Foreman was serious. One fist was as big as both of mine. Everybody was scared of him.
Were you scared of Liston?
Scared to death. I was afraid, but I would always never appear to show it.
Yeah.
Like in life, once we say to ourselves, I have no power, I have no force, so I can't do it, we're defeating ourselves. It's the attitude that makes people right and wrong. It's the attitude that makes people unhappy or happy, whatever, success or failure. It's always your attitude. My attitude was confidence. I cannot be beat. I am the greatest. I'm going to destroy the big ugly bear. I'm pretty. I cannot lose. And this will put me on the spot. All of this talking, all this boasting, I couldn't afford to lose because I'd have to come out and see my friends and say, I thought you were going to lose. No, I couldn't go home. They ran me out of school. So therefore, all the talking made me work hard. I had to fight. So, and then I made myself believe that I was the greatest. And the false son listening, I was afraid. One day we had a press conference, and I was going to attack Liston. I said, now, I'm going to jump at Liston. I'm going to jump on him, and I'm going to act like I want to fight now, but you all hold me. And when I jump at him, grab me. Don't forget now, grab me. So one day I said, you big ugly bear, I'll get you in there. And I said, grab me, hold me. And anyway, this publicity built the fight. It made me the man I am today. All the talking was a confidence and everything. So I was afraid of all of these guys, but I talked so until I made myself believe that I wasn't. And after so much talk, they started to believe that I was as good as I was. And after 2 or 3 rounds of hard fighting, they got weak and gave up first, because when fear leaves you, you can put on your adversary. If you don't have it in you, like a dog, you run down the street. The worst thing to do is to run from a dog. If a bad dog is coming at you and you run, worst thing you can do, he'll get more confidence and eat you up. But you stop and you go, ah, and you run back at the dog and run like you're crazy, ah, like you're mad. And then as you run, you reach down like you're gonna get a rock. Ah, that dog will say, scared. He'll stop and switch brakes on. Scared. That dog will turn around and, and run. You know, but you can't act afraid. I mean, you try it sometimes. If a dog is coming at you, look how bad he is. You run back to him and go down like you're picking up a rock and show no fear. The fear will come on the dog. Same with people. The same with boxers.
Well, you were certainly the underdog against Lister.
Oh, man, I was
8 to 1,
afraid.
yeah.
But I put the fear on him.